This is Rita Dairit, and this is Buhay Parang Life, where we discuss issues about this thing called life. Thank you, my dear viewers, for tuning into this episode. I would like to ask you to please share, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page, and to write down your comments and suggestions below. Buhay Parang Life is part of Faith Watch TV, and we have an app. Nasa app na po tayo, Faith Watch app, and I encourage you to download the app on your mobile device. Today's issue, Buhay Italianong pare sa Pilipinas, and we have with us, I'm sure if you have been watching my episodes, you have seen him before. We have with us again, Father Paolo Pirlo of the Sons of Holy Mary Immaculate. Hello again, Father Pirlo.
Hello, a blessed day to all of you, and congratulations for this beautiful program.
Thank you, Father. Father, whenever you guest here, you always give beautiful teachings. Now we want naman to hear your story. You are an Italian priest, Father, no? Where were you born?
I was born in Genova. Okay, in Italian it's called Genova.
Genova.
But in British, they call it Genoa, which is different from Geneva. So anytime I say, I taga Genova ko, oh, Geneva, Princess Diary. No, it's not. Geneva is in Genova. And Genova, it's a port city, the biggest port city in Italy. And the Riviera, it's the geography of my city is like this. Here is the sea, here is the mountain. So for those from Genova, every day we see the horizon of the sea. In our eyes, there is always the horizon of the sea. So we have this dream to go to faraway land. Christopher Columbus, the one who discovered America, guess what? He was from Genoa. So since he was a child, he saw the horizon and he saw the ship going and disappearing at the horizon. So he developed this dream. I want to go, I want to know what is across the horizon, until he discovered America. So he was able to discover America. Me, in my little ways, I discovered, at least for myself, this beautiful country, which is the Philippines.
Father, first of all, tell us about your vocation story. When did you know that you wanted to become a priest?
Since I was grade 6, I became an altar boy. Actually, I served, I don't want to boast, but every single day, the Holy Mass. I think I never missed a day Mass, because I was inspired by my mother. My mother was a very good Catholic. She passed away 4 years ago. My mother used to go to Mass every morning. So at 5:30, nandiyan na si Mama sa harap ng simbahan sa amin. So sabi ng parish priest, Maria, you are there every morning. Sa inyo na lang ang susi ng simbahan. Nanay ko, may hawak ng susi ng simbahan. Siya nagbukas ng pintuan tuwing umaga. Siya nag-aayos ng mga bulaklak sa altar.
So,
siya ay nagsindi ang mga kandila. Pag walang lector, siya nagbasa ng reading. Pag walang choir, siya kumanta. Pag walang collector, siya mismo pumasa ng basket. At biro mo, pag walang pari, siya mismo ay nagmisa. Can you believe?
Father, teka, so grade 6 ka noon, no? When you, or maybe grade 4 ka pa lang, or grade 3, you were seeing your mother always go to church.
I see my mother. She brought us, we are 4 children, 3 boys and 1 girl. And I'm not a girl, by the way. But from the age of 6, I began serving, although I was advanced age, because the requirement is First Communion to be able to serve.
Yes.
But I told the parish priest, I want to serve. So in our place, there is a hierarchy. First, you start serving by carrying the cruets, and then little by little, the candles, and then the crucifix. The highest position is when you carry the censer. You carry the censer.
Oh, all right.
This is really, you cannot go higher than that. So we go, hey, what's next? I already have the censer. I passed all the stages of altar boy. And the parish priest said, next stage is to become a priest and to say the Mass. Let's do it. I remember my parish priest was a diocesan.
Okay.
He made everything possible so that I would become a diocesan priest in the diocese of Genova. And he would bring me and the altar boys on a yearly basis to the seminary, and he will talk about, pero sabi ko, Father, ayoko maging diocesan. Bakit? Kasi noon, lahat ng diocesan ay matataba. Ang mga religious ay payat. Sabi ko, ayoko tumaba. But that was noon. Now it seems it's a general issue. Even the Salesians, they wanted me to become a Salesian because there were the Salesian sister running the elementary school in my town. But I said, parang hindi ko alam. And then we have the Agustinian, the Skulls. They came for vocation campaign. Until one day, a priest came with a very old car. I remember Fiat 500. It's the smallest car available.
Okay.
His shoes were old and open in front. I could see the socks na may butas. Ang kanyang sutana, old and panahon pa ni Magellan, it looks to me like St. Francis of Assisi. And when he said, I belong to the Sons of Mary Immaculate, I said, oh, maybe this is my congregation. Also because my mother is called Maria, so Sons of Maria Immaculata. So I decided
the Son of Mary.
to enter. My mother said, sayang ang mga books because it was first year at school, and she already bought the books and the uniform for the school in my town. I said, Mom, I'm sorry. When I become priest, I will refund the money that I've spent for the books, but I really need to enter the seminary.
What was her reaction, Father?
You know, mothers, mixed emotions. Mother, for them, the umbilical cord should never be cut. They want to have all the children, especially in Italy, no? Like the hen, to have all the children under them. But, of course, afterwards, she was very happy. And she came as many as 3 times in the Philippines. But about that, we'll talk about later.
So, Father, when were you ordained?
So I came to the Philippines on the 12th of October, 1989. I wasn't yet a priest. I wasn't yet...
Not yet a priest. You came here as what? As a deacon?
No, not even deacon. So I came here as a brother. Our Father General decided to open a community here, a seminary. So there was one volunteer, Father Augusto De Angelis, who was already a priest, and nobody else wanted to volunteer. Kasi in 89, no internet, no connection.
Yes.
From Italy to be assigned to the Philippines, it's like now to be assigned to the moon. So an unknown place, and then the news that came from the Philippines, coup d'etat, revolution, EDSA 1,
right.
earthquake, tsunami. So they were scared. Of course, many news were exaggerated. And so Father Generous said to me, would you like to be assigned for 1 year in the Philippines? 1 year. I said, oh, yes, why not? If you give me the order, I go 1 year. It was 89. I saw Father Jen after 25 years. I said, Father, sabi mo 1 taon, 25 na. Sabi niya, hindi mo alam ano nakasulat sa banal na kasulatan? Sa mata ng Diyos, 1 araw, para 1,000 taon. Okay.
Father, wait. First, when he told you about the Philippines, what was on your mind? Ano yung impression mo about the Philippines? Well, did you not have any Filipino friends in Italy? Or...
No, it was an unknown country before. There were very few overseas workers, Filipino in Italy, very few. And it was just unknown.
Unknown?
Nowadays, of course, everybody knows about the Philippines. In every parish, you can find Filipino families in the mass, singing, reading, and doing all the activities. Now they are very much known and well respected. But before it was simply unknown. The only thing I remember that there was a woman with 3,000 pair of shoes. Yun lang.
So, what did you expect to find, Father, as you were on the plane na, no? Flying to the Philippines. What did you expect to find?
We reached Naiya at 9:30 in the evening. There was a coup d'etat the day before, I think, and there was a typhoon. So by the time we exited, there was total darkness, and then the coconut trees were down and the cables were down, and somehow the reparative sister, they brought us in our house in Merville. Our first house was in Merville,
Yes.
in 20 Athens Street. No furniture, no electricity, no water. I remember I entered, there was a layer of dust like this. So I put my bag as my pillow and I said, oh my Lord, where have you sent me? That was my first night.
But Father, when you woke up in the morning, your seminary is inside Merville, a gated
But
village.
it
So
was
what did you say to
all
yourself?
to go to the church, I have to cross cables and coconut and trees and leaves because there was a strong typhoon the day before and it
Yes.
was like a war zone. So I said, well, welcome to the Philippines. What a welcome, but I know you have to start the hard way. But little by little, then I went to study in UST. I was still a brother. I have to finish my master's degree and licentiate in theology. So for 2 years and a half, I went to UST. Every morning, naglakad ako from 20 Athens to the service road to take this jeepney,
Commute, yes.
this concoction known as jeepney. And noon, you could see, go to the roof and make sabit. So I tried to enter and the driver said, Oy, kano, magsabit ka.
Father, you are a tall man. So how do you manage yung mga jeepney rides?
Sabay told me, hindi mo alam, sa loob, mga babae at mga ratanda senior citizen, mga bata. Kayo mga lalaki, dapat magsabit, leave the space. And there were hundreds of people attacking the every jeepney coming. So I make sabit. Well, when it was not raining, it was enjoyable. But imagine during rain,
So Father, sumasabit ka sa jeep?
yes, for 2 years. It was the norm before. Now it's not allowed, but before it was the norm. Then I will reach Rotonda, and there was a brand new LRT.
Yes, in Pasay,
All the
Rotonda.
way to Bambang Station, baba sa Bambang, and I will walk to UST for the 7 a.m. Mass. I always serve the 7 a.m. Mass in UST, first as a brother, then as a deacon.
So, Father, what are your experiences as a student in US, as a foreign student in UST? I can imagine, hindi naman marami ang Italian or mga puti sa UST, Father. Hindi ba nagkakagulo sa yung mga tao doon? Like when you walk to Bambang or when you ride the LRT or in Pasay, hindi ka ba sinusundan ng mga tao?
I have a lot of friends. Lahat ng mahihirap in Pasay and from Bambang to UST, there are a lot of people. They were my friends. Because
How did they become your friends?
Siyempre, every day, dumadaan ko dyan. And then I give some coins, some food, rice, whatever. And so, 2 years and a half. When I applied in UST, tell you frankly, I could not speak well English. Actually, my English was like Kinder 1.
So, so you're, because you were speaking Italian.
Yeah.
Oo nga, so how did you cope?
This is a capital sin of Italian. We do not speak English. Or if we speak English, it's always with the spaghetti accent. So remember,
Ganyan.
I went to the office of UST, Ecclesiastical Faculty, and the priest there, he was speaking to me in Spanish. He said, "Caramba, hermano, no hablas inglés. No puedes estudiar en la nuestra universidad. You cannot study here because you speak English." I said, please, give me 6 months, 1 semester. If I have just one failure, I will retire. Sabi ng Diyos, after 1 semester, modesty aside, I have the highest grades of my class. So el padre, el cura, me dijo, "Caramba, hermano, how did you manage to have these high grades?" I said, I asked the help of St. Thomas, and he declined it. And I asked help from my Blessed Mother Mary, and here are the results. Yeah.
So, Father, recount to us your first month in UST as a student who does not speak English.
Well, of course, I have my English grammar on the right, and the book.
So you're always translating.
And I was always translating. And you made it or you break. There is no other way around. So that's what I say also when our brothers, they go to Rome. I always tell them, don't bring with you any English or Tagalog literature. Force yourself to speak the language of the place. And you cannot escape. You will learn. So I was, little by little, was able to adjust myself. And I finished. I graduated among I think in my class, we were 25. Only 5 or 6 were able to finish. It's only also a matter of determination. So what happened? Since I have no time to take breakfast in Merville, because I will leave at 4:30, there was a break, 10 to 10:30. There was a break. So I will go down beside the soccer field in UST. There was this booth selling siopaw.
Siopaw.
Every day, my brunch was siopaw and sago.
Sago gulaman. Yung drink na malamig.
Oh, I like it. Siopaw. Until one of my classmates from Leyte, I don't know if he was kidding or if he was serious, he told me, you know, Brother Paul, your voice is changing. It looks more and more like the voice of a cat. Yeah. Why?
And why is that?
Di mo alam, ito sa UST, palaman ng siopaw ay pusa. Oh my gosh, from that moment, never again I ate the siopaw. And I said, no more.
So you've not eaten siopaw since then? Or nagbago na yung...
I was traumatized.
Traumatized. I know what to bring you next time, Father.
Siopaw. He was calling siomao.
So, after that, what was your breakfast then? Ano na yung brunch mo after you learned that?
And they opened donuts, Dunkin' Donuts nearby. So I eat usually a donuts with cafe. I changed from siomao and gulaman to donuts and cafe.
So, Father, share with us the cultural challenges that you faced as an Italian in the Philippines?
Well, first of all, the heat. We're not used to this. In Italy, we have 4 seasons.
Yes.
Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Here, 2 seasons. Mainit and mas mainit. So, I was not used to this kind of never-ending heat. Kasi in Italy, during summer, it's as hot as here. Pero in your mind, sige, malapit na.
Yeah. And you kind of welcome it after winter, right? You kind of welcome.
Then it's winter, and then springtime. So there is a cycle. This never-ending heat is really demanding for first comer. Of course, you get a chance, but it's not easy. Also because I always go around with my clerical. I never went to UST without wearing my clerical. And you know, when it's hot, all the perspiration, and then there are the map of the Philippines, wala magagawa. I said, I am a brother. I don't want to hide my identity. I want to go around with clerical. Up to now, I'm a priest. I never go around without my robe.
So that was a big sacrifice for you. Even as a brother, you wore your clerical attire?
Yes, big sacrifice because you see the neck. Look at this. Second point ng issue, of course, the language at first was a big barrier. And the food.
Bakit, Father?
I have a companion there. It was Father Mario from the Agustinian, Colegio San Agustin, Mario Beato. We became friends. He's a Spaniard. He said, Paolo, I will offer you a special treat today. Let's go to Jollibee. First time I went to Jollibee, I call it Masayang Bubuyog. Kasi Jollibee.
Masayang Bubuyog.
And then I was so excited that finally I can eat spaghetti. I said, yes, spaghetti, like what my mother did. So I ordered spaghetti, and they gave me a strange thing. Spaghetti, they look like white worms, almost frozen, with ketchup on top, and a few pieces of hot dog. Then I took the plastic fork, I put like this, the whole thing came up. You go, what's this? Spaghetti. Then I have to cut the spaghetti as if it's a pizza. And it tastes sweet.
Sweet, yes.
Sugar. Oh my goodness, why do you put sugar in the spaghetti? Not only that, sugar in spaghetti and pineapple chunk in pizza. This is something that I will never accept. Never I will eat pizza with pineapple. And that was
We call that, Father, Hawaiian pizza, right?
tama.
Oo.
So I told my friend, Father Mario Beato, because I actually ate the spaghetti. And I said, oh, this is the second time I eat spaghetti here in the Philippines. Right. The first and the last. But I see recently the spaghetti are much better. They've improved a lot. So the food is another big barrier. You see, we don't eat plain rice in Italy, but we eat like paella. We call it risotto. Once a week in Italy with the risotto, which is rice with some ingredients, seafood or
yes.
or
And also you eat a lot of bread, not rice.
yeah. So what is your rice? There is
It's your bread.
bread. But of course, aside from this, maliit na bagay. And then of course, transportation. I was a vocation promoter. So I remember my first trip from Parañaque to Tacloban. In the map is 550 kilometers. I said 550 kilometers, it may take 6 hours. Because in Italy, it's 100 kilometers per hour, 5 hours. So because 6 hours. 2 days and 1 night.
Father, kasi barko ka?
No, boat, bus, by bus.
By bus? Because you could have flown.
No, before it was very expensive. Before there was only Philippine Airlines, and it was cheaper to buy a diamond than to fly.
So you took the land transportation?
Yeah, always land transportation.
And how many days? 2 days?
2 days and 1 night. By the time I reached Tacloban, I couldn't stand straight anymore. And it was really a difficult change, but you have to get used to it for the love of Jesus. So little by little, I get used to the traffic, the transportation, to the food. The people are very friendly. So I'm very happy to be in the Philippines, of course.
Father, what are the commonalities between Filipinos and Italians, like families, the commonality between the churchgoer, yung culture natin?
The 3F. F.
3S. F. Okay.
Like Facebook. Faith, family, and friends.
Faith, family, and friends. Okay.
So, faith. In the Philippines, we know first priority is faith. Also in Italy, although now with the secularization, some people have lost their faith, but faith is still a priority. The Christian faith. Children are baptized in the Christian faith. They receive First Communion. They go to Mass at least on Christmas and Easter. So faith is the priority. Second to it is the family. In Italy, we are very family-oriented, to the extent that for us Italian, it's unthinkable what the Americans do. These Americans, when they reach 18, they leave the house. They live on their own in an apartment.
Yes.
What are they doing? Why don't you stay at home? There is mama cooking for you. There is mama washing your clothes. There is mama keeping companies that you will never eat alone. There is mama giving you paghetta. Paghetta is the weekly. So you can find in Italy people at 40, 50, they're still in the house because mama. So family oriented. And the third is friends. Friends. Very important to friends. So I found in the Philippines a similar culture, the importance of faith, the importance of the family, the importance of friends. Here they call barcada, and that's a good thing.
So Father, when of course you have had a chance to go back naman to your homeland. So what do you tell your people there, your friends there, your family there about the Philippines and the Filipino?
Of course, beautiful stories. The beauty of the Philippines. I remember one time there was a journalist, he or she, whatever, he came to the Philippines to have to take picture and video, to have an article in an Italian magazine about the Philippines. And he wanted me to bring him around Smoky Mountain, squatters, poor, beggar. I said, my dear journalist, if I invite you to my house and you take picture of the trash can and of the toilet, and then you say, this is the house of Father Paolo, I will not be happy. Of course, there are sacks of poverty, but the Philippines is a wonderful country. There is Boracay, there are the 100 islands. Majority of the families have a house, they have a decent living. So I do not subscribe this idea that the Philippines has to be a poor country. So I interrupted we were riding the Vespa like this, because I used to bring him around. I said, if you keep on taking only picture of poverty of Smoky Mountain, I will not assist you anymore. Because this is not what the Philippines is. The Philippines is family, friends, church, natural beauties. These are the things that should be featured in an article in an Italian magazine about the Philippines. So when I go there, I describe the Philippines so well that my mother came here 3 times.
Oh, 3 times.
Right?
All right. And what was her impression? What did she say?
She said, the people, they talk to me and they're very friendly. Of course, she couldn't speak any word in English or Tagalog. And they're very friendly. And she was so happy that she came back 2 more times, for a total of 3 times. My mother was already, the first time she came here was 63, 64. And the latest was, she was already 17. And then she couldn't come anymore. But she left behind a pasta making machine. You know when you make pasta from scratch?
Oh, from scratch?
Yes.
You have it there in your seminary now?
Yes, it's still here, yes. And they are still using it. My brother came twice. My sister also came twice with 2 children. And so I try to promote the Philippines, and they like to come and to see when they come, it's also an excuse for me to put aside for a moment my priestly ministry and to become a tourist guide. Modestly aside, I was able to travel all around Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, not only for vocation campaign, for masses, for retreat and recollection, but also to bring around the visitors I have from Italy. So I've been to Boracay, 100 Islands, Sagada, Banawe, all the way to Tuguegarao, Samar, Leyte, name it. Bohol,
Mindanao also.
Catanduanes, Pirac, Limasawa Island, Camigui is one of my favorites. So that is what I say when I go to Italy. I promote the cultural, family, and natural beauties of the Philippines so that people are invited to come and to be tourists and to fall in love also with the country.
Thank you, Father. Would you have it any other way? Like looking back, you could have said no.
We have the vow of obedience. We believe that God speaks through the superiors. So whenever a superior gives a command, we believe it's God talking through him. And so when the superior said, you are assigned in the Philippines, for me, it was God the Father telling me, you are assigned in the Philippines. And you don't say no to God.
You don't say no to God. How would you describe the Filipino seminarians of this day?
Our seminarians,
as compared to you before? Kamusta sila, Father? Bakit
we have
parang...
26 seminarians.
Okay.
And the mortality, of course, they're nice people, they're very friendly, they play, they do everything well. But we have this so-called mortality rate. No, we don't kill seminarians, but their vocation.
Yes, they don't come back.
Every 10 seminarians, only 1 becomes a priest. It's not only in our seminary, statistically, it's everywhere, religious and diocesan seminary. I used to say, out of 10 seminarians, 8 become padre de familia. 1 becomes a madre de familia, and only 1 becomes a priest. So that is the big challenge. Of course, we know that those who do not become priests, they will become good fathers of the family. Praise the Lord for them. So which among them is the one who will become priest? After 33 years in the Philippines, we're able to ordain 33 Filipino priests. 11 are assigned in the Philippines, others are assigned around the world. So I consider this a big blessing. It means our seminary was able to produce almost one priest a year.
Every year.
It's a big blessing.
So, Father, final words for parents. What can parents do to encourage of course, it is a calling, but there is somehow like an encouragement to the priestly vocation.
Well,
Like you were encouraged because your mother went to mass every day.
allow me to show my family. Ito na. Si Mama,
Ayan.
si Papa, Roberta,
Ayan.
Sergio, and this boy on white socks, it's me. Paulino.
Colino.
Do not prevent your children from entering the seminary or the convent or the sister. If they express the wish, Mama, I wish to become a priest, diocesan, religious, or I wish to become a sister, do not stop them. Because it might be the calling of God. And if they stop their children from doing the will of God, they will force their children to have a life of misery. Because if God has decided that a certain person should become a priest, and he is not allowed because the parents are very selfish, okay, you will get married with the wrong woman, and then you will have children with trouble, and then you will have a difficult life. So never say no to God. St. John Bosco said, the greatest blessing God can give to a family is a son, priest, or a daughter, sister. So it's really a blessing.
Thank you so much, Father. And you are a big blessing to the Philippines. Maraming salamat po. And maraming salamat, my dear viewers, for watching this episode. This is Rita Dairit reminding you today, haba-habaan po ang pasensya sapagkat ang buhay parang life.